I leveled a druid to level 5 last night. I got the name Gay Kitty. Hey, gotta keep it going. Here's Veibae. I think it's when we first started dating. I named this druid Veibae. Also, let me show y'all. So I'm level 80. Like, I played the War Within on WoW 2. So I have to open it here. Like that. And then I have a druid. And my name was Dirty Kitten? What is wrong with me? Hey, look. I think I'm fucking mentally ill. Poo Fister. P Fister. Dotarded. Brother Soda. Mental illness. That's my priest. Stupid person. I don't remember making any of these characters, but you might need professional help. Dude, what? But yeah, P Fister, level 80. Oh, this was for an event. Yeah, that was like some sponsored Blizzard shit. But here's Dirty Kitten. Let me look at my gear. I was in really good gear when I quit, but like, again, Raid wasn't even out yet. So, really, what kind of gear did I have? Let's find out. Questing gear, I think. What the fuck? Dude, what is this squish, man? My weapon is 14 DPS. 81 item level. Ooh. I'm doing my best here. Look at my UI. Is this how I had it? Man, all my bindings are so awkward. Whoa, what the fuck? They changed my movement key bindings. Huh? Okay, a lot of y'all are gonna be like, what? That's weird. But the way I turn, I've always turned in this game like options, key bindings, movement. Like, I like the ability to do this. And then if I want to strafe, I hold right click. But they made it default that it's like when you press A and D, it auto strafes. And honestly, I think it's probably better to be able to strafe with A and D. Like, why do you ever need to turn your camera like this? I don't know any situation you need to do this. So I guess maybe they're right to do that. I'm a fossil. That's fair. But again, I'm used to what I'm used to, right? Unspent talents. Oh. Anyone have like what I'm supposed to do here? What do I do? What the fuck? I'm not playing this character. I'm logging out. God, it's fucking crazy, man. I'm either gonna get on my 61 druid that has like my rank 1 titles and stuff, because it's like that's my druid, right? Or I start from level 1, or I make a new class, and I don't know what to do. Viki's playing a demo lock. What do I play with a demo lock? I don't even think she cares about arena. I don't know if I care about arena is the thing. I really don't think I give a fuck. It's weird as fuck you can move while casting. Really? It's 3 buttons max. No thanks. Is that it? There's gotta be like a fucking, let me look at a video of all the classes. Someone who has somewhat of an idea of just like at least surface level what each class does. I'll let you guys find a video for me. Someone link me a fucking video that's just like a guide, surface level of each spec. I don't know anything in this game, man.
Other tanks work.
Let me just watch other classes.
You're not entirely reliant on Death Strike healing to stay alive, so you should be a bit sturdier as you progress through harder content. Bone Shield has also been changed to mostly just be a passive defensive boost. You won't be spending them as a resource to fuel other spells and abilities. You're also going to see far fewer active abilities in general, and a lot of talents have been removed, including Blood Drinker, Blood Tap,
Let's get to this guy talking about Feral Druid. Let's just get to it. Fuck it. Let's see.
Moving on to the Druids, there are a lot of big changes to look forward to. For the class,
I'll be honest, balance looks cool as fuck. If I'm gonna like really immerse myself into like this main character, like look at all these animations, man. Stars, fucking epilepsy being caused. Fuck it. Druid seems to be the nuttiest.
Actions depending on your shapeshift form. Skull Bash is no longer available to resto druids, so they're losing their interrupt, and Nature's Vigil and Renewal have both been removed from the class.
Wait,
tree.
Starfall doesn't have a
balance will see a
cooldown?
Pretty huge revamp to how Eclipse works. Instead of entering an Eclipse by casting a certain spell multiple times, Eclipse will just be a button that you press. It will last for 15 seconds, have a 30-second cooldown, and you can talent it to have 2 charges. Eclipse will either be solar or lunar depending on the last filler spell you cast, so when you cast Wrath, your next eclipse will be solar. When you cast Starfire, your next eclipse will be lunar, so you have full control over which one you're going to enter. Now, due to these changes, your eclipse uptime will be quite a bit lower, but the general idea seems to be you want to use the time in between your eclipses to set up your dots and pull astral power, and then line up an eclipse to deal as much damage as you can, and then just rinse and repeat. There are a lot of new talents that help you stay in eclipse longer, or make your eclipse
God, you just dot everything instantly.
Including a talent that gives you a chance to enter both eclipses at the same time. Another huge change is that Sunfire and Moonfire no longer increase your other abilities' damage, so they're just back to being simple dots that you want to keep up for their damage and talent interactions. This also means your damage isn't entirely reliant on those dots always being active, which gives you a bit more freedom in how you play. Quite a few abilities have also been removed, like Stellar Flare, Waning Twilight, and Warrior of Elune, and almost all of your base rotational spells are going to deal significantly more damage. We do have some Apex talents to look at for balance.
Dude, I'm such a classic Andy now. What is going on?
By providing more damage for your astral power spender.
Activating an Eclipse makes your next 3 Wrath or Starfire instant. Your critical strikes during an Eclipse languish. What the fuck? We've got like the what is it, that crit bleed that warriors have in like classic? Your critical strikes dealt during an eclipse cause the victims to languish for an additional 40% damage dealt for 6 seconds. Holy shit. Deep wounds. We got deep wounds. Activating an eclipse also launches solar lunar bolts at enemies. Solar bolt? Lunar bolt? The fuck? Okay.
Give them an extra damage over time component.
Let me see Feral Druid. Let me see.
Damage from solar and lunar bolts depending on which eclipse you enter. Feral will see a lot of changes to make the spec easier to play in a few different ways. Snapshotting is now only tied to Tiger's Fury and Prowl, and Blood Talents has been removed entirely. So your focus is going to be mainly on maintaining your bleeds, building combo points, and spending them, which should make...
Okay. I will say that is a tremendous buff to me. I guess I didn't have any add-ons to help me do it, but I did not track the internal cooldown of my trinkets, and I did not line those up with my bleeds. Did others do that? Like, I snapshot my Tiger's Fury, absolutely. And I'll snapshot Blood Talons, but like, I'm not gonna fucking track the ICD on my trinkets. No fucking way. What else do you snapshot? It's just trinkets, right? They had a weak aura for it. Trinkets are like spells now. Are they all on uses? What is snapshotting? It's when... Oh, jeez. If you had a buff that increases your attack power by 5 billion, and that buff only lasts for 1 second, if you press rip, your bleed over time during that buff, the entire duration of your rip will benefit off of that buff. So even though the buff only lasted 1 second, it's gone. The whole rip now benefits. So snapshotting is making sure that when you apply your damage over time effects, you have all of those buffs. So you track if you have a proc trinket that randomly procs, and you track the internal cooldown, because trinkets can't spam proc, they have a cooldown. You make sure to hold your rip. Like, hey, my trinket's almost off cooldown. It's going to pop any second right now. So I'm not going to spend these 5 combo points. I'm going to wait for that trinket to proc, then hit it. Right? So, and that's autistic. Now, Tiger's Fury, I can, it's easier to track. I track Tiger's Fury. That increases damage by 15%. Blood Talons is a buff you put up yourself. Increases damage by 50%. Or 20. I don't know what it is in retail now. Important stuff.
Feral,
but they made it
more
easier.
Approachable. Quite a few abilities have also been removed, like Brutal Slash and...
Oh, Brutal Slash is gone! Yes! Oh, I fucking hated Brutal Slash! Oh! Fuck you!
Adaptive Swarm, and a lot of talents have been replaced with easier to understand passive effects. Another important update comes in for Rampant Ferocity, which now always causes your Ferocious Bite to cleave.
But so what do we even do? Wait, how do your Ferocious Bite cleaves now? How do we AoE what?
Instead of just on targets that already have RIP applied. So Feral has been made quite a bit easier in a bunch of different ways, but you will still have your main core rotational kit, and your general play style will be very...
Why is that Thrash getting all bloody? Everything's getting all bloody and crazy. What the fuck? See the end? Like, look at the rake. How's that happen?
But you will still have your main...
Ah, fuck!
Why are we in a call together?
We were playing Night Rain.
Oh yeah, last night. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Love you, bye.
All right. Scared the fuck out of me.
Kit, and your general play style will be very similar. There's also a new AoE ability called Frantic Frenzy that introduces this new flicker mechanic and visual. Using this
Ooh, hold on, wait, whoa, wait, I'm getting autistic
Frantic
here.
Frenzy
What is this?
That introduces this
Frantic Frenzy. Unleash a fury of frenzy, flickering to nearby targets in front of you 5 times and clawing all enemies around them for a little physical damage and an additional 1k over 6 seconds. I don't know how much 1k is. Maybe that's a lot.
New flicker mechanic
45 second
visual.
CD.
Using this ability causes a bunch of
oh, and it gives you 5 combo points. Damn.
Stealth shadow.
So wait, is that like Feral Frenzy but upgraded?
Cat things to dash at your enemies, slashing at nearby foes. It looks really cool. Your Apex talents actually lean into this flicker mechanic too. When you Ferocious Bite, you'll have a chance to attack with one of 2 new attacks which uses the same flicker animation. Unseen attacks increase your damage done for a brief period of time, and then Tiger's Fury causes your next 2 combo point generators to always perform unseen attacks, and you get some extra damage boosts as well. Now, Guardian doesn't have quite as many changes, but their main focus seems to be smoothing out rage generation and providing new ways to spend it, reducing the reliance on overlapping defensives and making baseline abilities stronger.
So apparently Guardian Druid is busted. Why? What is so busted about it? It's brain dead AoE, it's giga damage. Giga Dam and Giga Sustain. I mean, it's like 4 tanking looks so boring. Am I crazy? The tanking is just like the most brain dead thing in all of retail? It seemed like I don't think it's like retail. Threat is no longer a mechanic. It just seems so you're unbelievably wrong. Am I? I mean, I guess the tank in Mythic Plus has to know the pulls. You're the one doing all of the pulling, right? So you need to be probably the most knowledgeable. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. But if we're just looking at your rotation, you're just playing your class, you're not doing all the knowledge checks that a tank needs, blah, blah, blah. Just your rotation, playing the class, whatever. It seems the most brain dead. Okay, tanking is hard as fuck in Mythic Plus. Surviving is a challenge. All right, so here's where I don't understand. So tanking in like TBC and even Wrath, which is really all I've really tanked in, surviving isn't really your job. Maybe like shield wall at times if you're a warrior, or maybe like fucking survival instincts. Barkskin and Wrath can actually be used in bear form. So my question is, if surviving is kind of on your end as a tank in retail, what exactly do you do to survive? Like let's do Bear Druid and let's focus on that. What do you do to live? Self-heal and class. Press active mitigation buttons. Can you tell me the specifics? Like just Barkskin? Hey, I'm pulling. I'm going to Barkskin this. Keep Iron Fur up. That doesn't seem hard.
Survival Instincts will have 2 charges baseline, Berserk will also reduce the cooldown of Frenzied Regen by 100% baseline, and a few talents have been removed. Guardian has quite a few new tools to work with too. Waking Nightmares kinda gives you a Shadow Priest's apparitions. They copy your Thrash casts, so that's going to be interesting. Red Moon replaces Moonfire and seems to mostly just deal more damage on a longer cooldown, and casting Mangle will extend its duration by 1 second. Galactic Guardian has a new effect if you do take Red Moon, which deals extra arcane damage whenever you spend rage, and then Sundering Roar is a new 1-minute cooldown that allows Thrash to stack 5 additional times, and when it expires, those extra stacks deal all of their damage immediately, so that's going to offer some decent AoE burst damage. Guardian doesn't have any Apex talents to look at just yet, so I do imagine we'll see quite a few changes for Guardian over the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that.
Okay, another question. Retail, like, gear is different, right? So when you change specs, if I have an agility chest piece, if I were to go balance, that agility would turn into intellect, right? So I could actually just play all 4 specs on Druid. Right? But not your weapon. So I'd have to get multiple weapons. I mean, I definitely think I play Druid. Because I'm actually kind of interested in playing balance. I guess I could tank. Y'all are saying resto. Fuck it, I could do everything. Trinkets as well. So I need to farm trinkets and I need to farm weapon. For, like, you know, all the classes. Okay, how about this? Feral Druid weapon to Guardian Druid weapon. Are those not the same? Secondary stats. You're right. Like, as a bear tank, you random stats. Let's say you want haste and crit as a bear druid, and you want mastery and what else? What else even is there? Mastery and crit for feral, right? Those don't change. That sucks, but versatility. That's right. I don't know what's best for each spec, but I guess I'll understand it. Okay. I think I go Druid in retail. Wow, who knew? Who would have guessed? Let me see other classes, though. Evoker. Oh, God.
Evokers are up next, and Augmentation will be seeing some interesting updates. Ebon Might will now grant 8% primary stat, up from 5%, and it can now apply to all damage-dealing allies within 100 yards, so all of your DPS get Ebon Might, but its effect will now be split between everyone who receives it. So you've got 2 buffs of 8% being split across however many DPS are in the party, so it should be 16% primary stat split amongst everyone, if I understand this correctly. No more picking and choosing who gets Ebon Might, or being really careful with prescience to target the right folks. Everyone gets a slice of that Ebon Might pie in Midnight. Breath of Aeon's Temporal Wound will accumulate 15% of damage done, up from 10%, and it now shows the damage number on the tooltip, which is kinda cool, but the wound does become less effective if Ebon Might is applied to more than 2 allies. So they're really trying to keep the power creep in check when you add more DPS into the mix. Hopefully this lets them balance things a bit better.
This is like an earthbender.
Evokers do have some
fire breath
to go over. Breath of Aeons will summon a future version of yourself to assist you in battle, and they will cast Eruption, Empower Spells, and Living Flame. Whenever you extend Ebon Might, your duplicate is also extended, and while your duplicate is active, your Ebon Might is twice as effective, and your upheal and Eruption will deal more damage. I guess we'll see how the balance goes for Augmentation in Midnight. Having that support spec back on the menu would be really cool. Devastation is getting some big updates too. They're kind of already on the simpler side, so they won't see the same kind of pruning as some of the other specs, but Shattering Star is being baked into Eternity Surge, so now you just fire Shattering Stars at every target that gets hit by Eternity Surge, which looks fantastic, I might add. There's a talent to let you Deep Breath a second time within 18 seconds of using Deep Breath, which sounds kind of insane, and it should be a lot of fun to play around with. It should also let you cover entire battlefields as you soar across.
Damn.
A few talents have been removed, including Firestorm, so you'll have a couple fewer. That's going to the PvP talent.
This is the healing evoker. How does this work?
Through. As for preservation, they're going to be made quite a bit simpler to play in Midnight while getting some fun new tools and talents. Spirit Bloom is being removed, as well as Emerald Communion, that's going to the PvP talent section, so the Lifebind healing combo is getting canned. To compensate, Emerald Blossom, Verdant Embrace, and Dream Breath are all getting those healing numbers.
I saw a 900k in there.
Is also getting a range bump up to 40 yards. Dream Flight now protects you as you soar across the sky, and there's a new talent option that turns vertical if you don't revolve around reversion by 3%. So you will always
here we go, Hunter. Hunter's pretty sick.
So there's some new interactions to keep an eye on there. Moving on to the Hunters, Hunter's Mark is getting a big buff. Instead of increasing damage to targets above 80% health, it now just increases all damage by 3%. So you will always want that on a priority target or raid boss, and that might secure Hunters at least one raid spot for the foreseeable future. For Beast Mastery specifically, they're doubling down on pet damage and bleeds. Bestial Wrath will have a 30-second cooldown baseline, and Barbed Shot will no longer reduce its cooldown. Barbed Shot will also be a rolling periodic effect, so you can stack them up on one target without losing damage, and there are talents to help you spread them without having to tab target around.
But I thought Barbed Shot was like a bitch or something, right? Like, Barb Shot lasted not as long as the cooldown of Barb Shot, so like, but it would stack up. So you wanted to get as many stacks of Barb Shot as you could, right? But that's not a thing anymore.
Is being removed, and there's a new pet AoE that replaces it and provides you with Beast Cleave and Kill Cleave, so it's just more thematically
it's easy in Midnight now? Okay.
with Beast Mastery Hunter. Call of the Wild is also being removed, and there's a lot more focus being put into Bloodshed. So you'll have two major cooldowns in Bestial Wrath and Bloodshed, so it's pretty similar to what we have now. It's just more streamlined, more consistent, and less reliant on procs and cooldown reduction, and focused in on fewer abilities. Now, Marksmanship has some very impactful changes too. To start with, Kill Shot is going to be Marksmanship only, so they'll get to fully own that Execute niche in Midnight. Another huge change is the removal of Streamline, so you're going to have to fully hard cast those aim shots the vast majority of the time. Your casting speed won't be sped up outside a True Shot, but your aim shots will hit quite a bit harder. So if you can make the longer cast times work, the harder hitting aim shots will hopefully make up for it. That does make MM far less mobile than it currently is, though. There are also really big nerfs to Marksmanship's crit bonuses. So your crit damage bonus has been reduced to 25% of crit chance.
I wonder how Marksman is in PvP. It seems like it's rough.
Causes the target to
but it would be cool to just nuke people with like 15%. Massive arrows.
Crit will still probably be very strong for Marksmanship. It's just not going to be quite as good moving forward. It also looks like Explosive Shot has pretty much just been removed as an ability.
The only caster left is Marksman.
The Salvo talent. That goes for every hunter specialization, by the way, which is kind of odd. No one hard casts Explosive Shot anymore, but if you liked the Explosive Shot gameplay and interactions, you'll probably be quite disappointed with the Midnight changes. Moving on to Survival, they're getting an update that a lot of players have been asking for quite a while: dual-wielding Survival Hunters. They'll be able to use one-handed axes, swords, and daggers, so you can properly roleplay as Rexar now. It's not fully testable in this first build, but we'll get there eventually. Survival as a whole is also moving away from the spear fantasy, and you'll see a lot more focused on explosives and munitions. Fury of the Eagle has been reworked as Boomstick, where you fire a huge shotgun several times in a row. There's a new AoE bomb called Flame Fang Pitch, which deals AoE damage and leaves a fiery AoE on the floor. Coordinated Assault and Flanking Strike are being combined into one cooldown called Takedown, so you'll have fewer buttons clogging up your bars, and quite a few other talents and abilities have been ripped out, like Butchery and its related effects. The list of talents removed for Survival is quite chunky, but there are plenty of new explosives themes passives for you to pick and choose from.
All of those talents got removed.
Has also been simplified to just be a flat damage boost for Raptor Strike, where multiple applications can overlap, so you won't need to keep track of that anywhere near as much. And then Survival's Apex talents empower Raptor Strike, giving it a chance to turn into an AoE version that always procs during takedown, and Raptor Swipe also causes your pets to lash out to deal heavy single target damage and grant you a haste boost. So you'll have less to keep track of, an easier rotation to execute, and Survival is finally ditching the spear. Then we come to the mages, who are seeing some very big changes both to the class in general and to every specialization. Shifting power is being removed entirely, which I am very happy about, while being somewhat interesting. Is that a staff of Jordan? Having none of your cooldowns line up with anything else was really frustrating.
It's probably the
and shifting power essentially just became a DPS loss if not used optimally. Shimmer will no longer have 2 charges baseline, but you can talent to get that extra charge back for either Shimmer or Blink, which should make Blink more competitive. Mirror Image will no longer reduce damage taken and will instead just be a threat reduction spell. Greater Invisibility will also no longer reduce damage taken, and
Arcane
most of your
Pulse?
defensive ability is
That looks
going to
pretty
come from your
sick.
barrier spells, which will have a longer cooldown but will shield you for more. That's only for personal shields though, because Mass Barrier is being removed as well, so you won't be able to offer a group-wide defensive spell anymore either. A lot of crowd control options have been placed in choice nodes too. So Mass Polymorph has a choice node with Ring of Frost, and Ice Nova is now a choice node against Freezing Cold. So you'll have access to less tools at any given time. There's a long list of talents that have been removed, including things like Incanter's Flow, Slow, Blast Wave, and Ice
Jesus
Blows,
Christ,
and
look at Fire Mage. What the fuck? Now, Arcane has seen some big changes too. The first major change is that pretty much all Arcane charge refund mechanics have been removed, so you're going to need to charge up every time you decide to Arcane Barrage. All of the Arcane Barrage buffs are also being rolled into one new buff called Arcane Salvo, so you won't have to keep track of 4 different buffs or events that empower Barrage enough for you to cast it. Arcane Salvo can spec. Let me skip forward here. Warlock next, maybe?
The minimum you rely on.
Oh, we're still talking about mages. God damn.
Deal increase when they finishing using stats.
Didn't I already watch this?
Less back.
Bro, what? This guy loves mages. Jesus. All right, here we go. Monks.
And Rising Sun Kick was removed for Brewmaster. Diffuse Magic is now a passive talent that causes Fortifying Brew to reflect harmful magic effects back to their caster if possible. So they're kind of getting Spell Reflect.
And fuck, maybe I play Windwalker Monk.
But they're losing the magic damage reduction that Diffuse Magic offered. Brewmaster will see quite a few changes that make it easier to understand and play, including a lot of tooltips being updated, so it's clearer what your abilities are actually doing. Quite a few talents were removed, with power being consolidated into a smaller core kit, and then there are some cool new talents like
maybe
Fuel
don't
on the
play
Fire,
retail.
which
I could do that too.
Worlds of flame that spiral outwards when you keg smash. Empty the Cellar lets you reactivate exploding kegs to throw 5 additional kegs at nearby enemies, as if you weren't smashing enough kegs over your enemies' heads. Jade Flash gives you AoE Crackling Jade Lightning with a cooldown, and there are also a lot of new passives that increase the effectiveness of Stagger and your various brews. Brewmaster's Apex talents revolve around generating extra damage when you keg smash. The empty barrels can also ricochet for cleave damage, and there's also a heal over time effect whenever you use Fortifying Brew or Celestial Brew that applies to a couple of nearby allies as well. For the Windwalker monks, you're going to see quite a bit of pruning for spell modifiers, and that damage will be rolled into the baseline abilities to make them more impactful. They want you to mostly be focused on procs, resource management, and combo strikes while executing your rotation. So things like Fury of Zuen, Martial Mixture, and Transfer the Power have been removed. A huge surprise to me is that they're also removing Storm, Earth, and Fire.
Is it still... do you still have to not hit the same button twice in a row as a Windwalker monk? I remember that being a thing in Legion. I just don't know if they still do that. You still want to hit like a different button every time in a row? Okay, cool.
Really
so I thought it was actually cool.
Because that's been at the core of Monk gameplay since Warcraft 3. You'll instead be building around Weapons of Order as your main cooldown, which reduces the chi cost of abilities, gives Blackout Kick some extra cooldown reduction, and you'll also reset Rising Sun Kick and gain
That's just their mastery?
Jadefire Stomp has also been removed as an active ability, but there's a new talent that tacks it onto the end of your Fist of Fury casts, which is basically just Jadefire Fists without the cooldown. Strike of the Windlord and Whirling Dragon Punch are now a choice node together, so you can only pick up one of those options. Another new talent called Skyfire Heal increases the crit chance.
You have to pick between those two? Are you kidding me?
Enemy, and Rising Sun Kick damage splashes onto
Strike of the Windlord hits so hard, it's so fun.
Reduced beyond 5 targets.
But the fucking kick is like the coolest looking spell in the game.
Bonuses as well. Tracking your mastery is also going to be a bit easier thanks to a new buff that shows you what your last used ability was, which you'll be able to highlight using one of the in-game UI options.
You didn't use Strike of the Windlord, did anyway on retail for a while now. I'm looking at Legion Monk.
During your next weapons of order, there's some bonuses for crit strike damage, and you have a chance to increase the damage of your Fists of Fury. So not super interesting in the grand scheme of things, but all of that extra
like
crit
Fist of
strike
Fury is
and
so who
damage
gives a
will
fuck?
Definitely add up.
They can remove that from the game and I'd be okay with it.
Too. Jade Fire Stomp has been removed,
Just such
so you
a
don't have to worry about
stupid
its positional requirements
fucking
anymore.
looking
Vivify
everything.
was buffed considerably and will no longer reduce its healing beyond 5 targets, and when learned, Shaylun's gift will now replace
Fist is your top
Vivify
damage now?
and
I mean, it
functions
doesn't
with all the
surprise
talents
me.
and bonuses that
I just think
interact
it's stupid.
with Vivify. Enveloping Mist will heal for more baseline but provide a smaller healing bonus buff, and then Way of the Crane and Way of the Serpent is a new choice node that emphasizes which playstyle you'll prefer to roll with, so those bonuses will be easier to pick up and make use of. Invoke Chi-Ji was also simplified to always make Enveloping Mist's instant cast and cost 20% less mana. And then Mistweaver also has Apex talents to preview. Rising Sun Kick and Vivify have a now redirects 5% of all
Fuck Paladin. Priest.
Halo has been moved
How
into
does
the
Shadow
Archon
Priest
hero
work?
talent, far less spiky. To enemy mending healing a chance. Quite a few buttons and talents have been removed. Dark Ascension, Last Word, Psychic Horror, and Void Torrent were all deleted from the talent tree, with some new shiny talents to take their place. Devouring Plague was renamed to
Thing
Shadow
from
of
Beyond
Madness,
Tentacles.
Damage and high shadow
I mean, I
damage
guess
over
it
time,
is Void
and conjures
Power.
a
I just
shadowy
never have seen it like that.
That's still going to be your main insanity spender. Void Eruption was renamed to Void Form to reduce confusion between the spell and the form names, and that will turn into Void Volley instead of Void Bolt. Shadow Crash has been redesigned into Tentacle Slam, so instead of firing off a purple projectile, you now summon a huge void tentacle that slams everything in front of you and AoEs around your target, which looks super cool, and of course that will still apply your dots, so you can still get rolling in AoE very quickly. Shadowy apparitions won't spawn from Mind Blast or Void Bolt, but their base damage has been doubled. You can also talent to massively increase the damage of apparitions that deal damage to your target with Shadow Word Madness, so that's going to be a big single target damage boost for the most part. Shadow's Apex talents provide more shadowy apparition spawns, causes them to sometimes also fire off a Void Bolt, and then Tentacle Slam also activates an effect from one of your idols.
I'm watching the
you'll have
rotation,
more
I kind of
access to
see.
those power-ups as well. All in all, Shadow is looking really fun with these changes in place.
Basically, you hit
As
Mind
for the
Blast off
rogues,
CD,
some of the
keep up
specs are gonna see
DP.
some significant changes,
for your
and it
dots
follows
is
the
Mind
same
Flay.
vein as everything else. For Assassination, you'll be using fewer abilities during your cooldowns. The way in which you apply various debuffs has been streamlined.
Everyone's going to play sub. Well, I guess not in PvE, but Rogue is so boring.
Elemental will only last 30 seconds now, but it's down to a 3-minute cooldown. Poison Cleansing Totem is now a choice node with Tremor Totem, so you'll have to pick which utility you want to take into a dungeon or raid encounter, and Chain Heal's cast time was cut down to 2 seconds, down from 2.5. Each specialization will also now only learn 1 spell baseline, down from 2, so you'll kinda have 1 less talent to play with in the class tree. For Elemental specifically, you'll have fewer abilities and cooldowns to use. Storm Elemental, Primordial Wave, Liquid Magma Totem, and
What
Ice
the
Fury
fuck?
are all being removed, so you're mostly down
The
to
fuck is
your
targeting
lightning and
random
fire
shit
spells,
behind him?
and most talents will just be boosting those leftover abilities. You still have a few cooldowns to work with in Stormkeeper, Fire Elemental, and Ascendant.
Is that every lava
so you've got
burst?
more to work with when compared to some other classes, and there is a new passive talent that summons a greater Storm Elemental when you use Stormkeeper, so those two
God, look at that
abilities
lightning,
kind of
by
got
the way.
rolled into
God.
one. There's also a new talent that replaces Flame Shock called Voltaic Blaze, which applies Flame Shock to up to 6 enemies and causes your next lava burst to hit every enemy affected by Flame Shock, so it's a very quick bursty fire AoE combo that you can talent into, which is a lot of fun and works very well alongside Ascendants. Enhancement will see the same kind of treatment with fewer buttons, less buffs to track, and fewer highlighted spells on your bars. The dev team also noted that they want to make playing either hero talent tree easier to understand. They'll be losing Elemental Blast, Hailstorm, Ice Strike, Primordial Wave, and a bunch of other talents. Maelstrom Weapon has also been changed to only affect the cast time of Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning as baseline. Ascendance now replaces Doom Winds when talented, so they've been combined. Enhancement also gains access to Voltaic Blaze, so you can quickly apply flame shock to multiple enemies, and Fire Nova is a passive talent that can proc when you use voltaic blades.
Man, enhancement looks
quite
awful.
A lot of stuff has been combined together. You'll have less
I guess
ability
it's just
to
not
keep
very
track
flashy.
of, and you'll see a lot more passive effects in general.
But
Enhancement does have some Apex talents to look at, which mostly empower Crash Lightning. When you spend Maelstrom weapons, you have a chance to cause your next Crash Lightning to
The thing
ignore
is,
its
in
cooldown,
any
and
other
the
like
weapon
version of
enhancement
WoW,
effect
like
can
earlier,
overlap.
this would be
There's
the
some damage
coolest looking
boosts to
spec
Maelstrom
ever.
weapon spenders
But
and
when you
weapon
put it
humans,
side by
and the
side to
last
what
point
Ellie
causes
Shaman
Crash
was
Lightning
beforehand,
to deal even more AoE damage and increase your attack
then again, it might be
speed.
strong.
Now, as for restoration, you're going to lose a whole bunch of spells. Ancestral Protection Totem is gone, Cloudburst and Earthen Wall Totem are gone, Healing Surge is being removed in favour of Healing Wave being your main filler spell, Mana Tide, Unleash Life, and Wellspring
Damn,
are all
Chain Heal
gone
looks
too.
sick. It's like
So
watery.
they're really taking the whole fewer buttons thing to the next level with Restoration Shamans. In addition to all of those cooldowns being removed, Healing Tide Totem and Ascendance will now be a choice node, so you can only take one of those at a time. This mainly leaves you with Riptide, Healing Wave, Chain Heal, and Healing Rain as your main spells, with a couple of cooldowns for when things get spicy. The trade-off is that all of those spells should be significantly more powerful in their own right.
Okay, Warlock.
Tactics, Socrathar's Guile, Soul Conduit, Demonic Inspiration, and Wrathful Minion, and a lot of curse
This is
effects are
Destro.
being reworked.
I see Chaos Bolt.
So things like Amplify Curse and Teachings of the Satyr have been removed, but you will be getting a new
Wait,
talent that
Destro's
lets
summon
you
an
AoE
Infernal now?
curse. Foul Mouth causes your Curse of Exhaustion, Tongues, or Weakness
Lot of
to
Rain of
curse
Fire.
all enemies within 10 yards of the target.
Just trying to see what he spends his shards on.
It's going to be very useful in pretty much any kind
Cataclysm.
of content with multiple enemies. There's also a talent that lets you use your Demonic Gateway twice.
What the
before
fuck is
triggering
this
a
random
cooldown,
beam
so you can
bitch?
sit
What the
back
hell?
and forth more often. Now, Affliction is getting a much larger
I would think
rework.
that'd be
Malefic
demonology
Rapture
stuff.
is finally being removed. Unstable Affliction and Seed of Corruption will be your major spenders again, and you can now have up to 5 Unstable Afflictions on one target, and a lot of bonus damage effects are being rolled
Wait,
back
5
into Haunt.
stacks of
Quite a few
UA?
talents or effects are being removed, like Shadow Embrace, so you have fewer debuffs to keep up and maintenance buffs to worry about, and Vile Taint is being removed as well. To shore up the Agony AoE situation, a new talent will let Agony apply to 2 targets at once, so similar to Twin Moons from Balanced Druid if you ever played that. So your rotational loop will be back to making sure your dots are up, keeping Haunt up as often as you can, and spending shards on Unstable Affliction or Seed of Corruption. You won't have to pull shards as often, with Summon Dark Glare having a 2-minute cooldown now, and there's also a new 1-minute cooldown called Dark Harvest to play around with. This kind of works like Malefic Rapture, except it doesn't scale with the number of dots you have active. As someone who hated Malefic Rapture, these changes look amazing and get the spec back to its old.
Malefic Rapture, the way like Affliction worked is it was like based on how many dots the enemy had, Malefic Rapture would do more damage. So it kind of made a dot class deal damage not with dots exactly, right? But I think it's like the foundation of dot classes just never really did well in like current WoW, because you want to be Mythic Plus viable, you want to be Raid viable, and being a dot class, there's too much ramp up time, right? Just doesn't do that well. So they pretty much removed it wasn't a dot class. It's too slow. So now I wonder, they're going back to being a dot class by removing Malefic Rap, whatever, however you say that. Now what is it? Like, how do you, but it's going to be OP, is it? Do they have seed? Oh, okay, so there's seed spamming. Okay.
Gameplay. Affliction's Apex talents give Haunt a new cleave damage effect, increase its damage and effects, and your Haunt damage has a chance to summon a Desperate Soul to deal extra damage. Demonology
dot classes are
will also
historically
see
OP. At
significant
the highest
changes.
level they
Fell
can
Imps
be.
will no longer have an energy mechanic
Because they need to
and will
like
last
do
much longer,
damage to compete in
and the
Mythic
number
Plus,
of
but
imps
it's
you
like
can
when the fight
control
is
at
really
any one time
long
is being strictly
and you allow
limited.
them to
So
ramp
you'll
up,
only
now
able
they're going to
have
be
3
better.
imps at a time, but you can increase
guess.
that limit
Maybe
via
that's
a
stupid,
few
but-
talents. The most important extra change here is that when you have your max imps out, Hand of Gul'dan will change into Eye of Gul'dan, which deals higher single target damage. So you'll swap back and forth between an
There's like
AoE
20
Hand of
imps on my
Gul'dan
screen.
and a single target Eye of Gul'dan by
What is
managing
this?
how many imps you have out. There's also a big
Are these imps targetable? Like, can you target these if I was like trying to kill this guy? Yes. Dude, Blizzard. Whoever made these imps targetable, fire them.
to how many spells or abilities you have to get things rolling. So Vile Fiend has been rolled into Summon Dreadstalkers, so if you take that talent, Dreadstalkers will just summon a Vile Fiend as well.
Like, make them invisible. They're a glorified dot, right, that you can line of sight. That's fine.
Strength,
but like, Jesus Christ.
Bombers, Soul Strike, and a lot of others. A few unused spells have also been removed from your spellbook, like Corruption, which should keep things nice and tidy and make it obvious which abilities are actually worth using for newer players. A lot of those talents have been replaced with buffs for your remaining spells and summons, so the main active summons you'll have are your Felguard
What else
pet.
is there? Warrior. Ha! Don't care. All right. Venruki. Oh, is he going to give his thoughts PvP? Ah, shit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Okay, let me look at a PvP tier list, even though I know none of y'all care. I'm curious.
Very important topic. So if you guys didn't see, 3 days ago, I put out a tier list ranking every single spec for midnight PvP. The day after I put this out, we got a bunch of changes. And as promised,
double tier
I said
list.
I will be releasing an emergency update to this tier list after I play with the changes over the next few days. It should be released Thursday/Friday. We're going to be using my Twitch chat to assist me here, because I have played a lot of games of beta, but there's some specs that I'm not 1,000,000% sure on. You know what I mean? I'm not 100% sure on.
Oh, I see Feral in C tier.
Like 99% confident, and there have been some major changes, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna use the old video as a reference. Okay, so we got the old video here. This is like how we finished out the melee tier list. Let me get this out real quick. And we can go through this once again, okay? So immediately there's a few that are jumping off the page that have to be changed. What do you guys think they are? I like some of these, obviously you already know that I'm gonna change them. Like, which one of these do you think need to be changed immediately? Okay, I'll say this. There's a few changes that were anticipated, I think. I thought Warriors getting a 15% damage buff were actually gonna make them a lot better, but it turns out that wasn't really the case. Warriors do not feel good. I would say that I actually think Arms Warriors feel worse than before.
With 15% more damage?
But I'm not going to put them in D tier. I will keep them in C tier. That being said, I kind of feel like most of this is still pretty accurate. If we start at S tier, I feel very comfortable with Sub, Unholy, and Windwalker staying in their positions. All three of those specializations seem really solid. Both Rep Paladin and Survival Hunter are also really good. I am going to be moving Assassination Rogue up to A tier.
Oh,
shit. So, Assassination, through self-play, like me actually experimenting with a specialization myself, updating my build, and also with some of the changes, I think Assassination is at least A tier. I won't put it in S tier, but I think Assassination went from D tier to A tier. I think Assassination's very good, and I think it'll be even better in threes. It's good in Shuffle, but I think it'll be even better in threes. I truly believe that. The only other thing I'm not 100% sure on is Feral.
Oh.
Do you guys think that Feral should be updated to B? I think I kind of want to put Feral to B. You still think it's C tier? I need Axton. I don't know if Axton's still here, but he's kind of the authority on Feral Druids. Feral's higher than C. I kind of feel like Feral's higher than C too. It seems better than Warrior. Like a good Feral Druid seems better than Warrior at the moment.
Big win.
All right, we got Axton. I'm gonna trust Axton. You think? Okay, so we're also getting word that Fury is better than Arms. Big damn. I think I agree with that as well. So I think this is like basically perfect. Does anyone disagree with any of this? Like, this feels like a very solid. I think both Arms Warrior and Outlaw have the potential to be super strong, but the problem is their damage is trash. I think this is a perfect update.
Why is Feral bad? Trash. I'm curious, like, what it's lacking. Then again, I don't play retail arena, so like I feel like it's all about just parsing.
Asa,
maybe I'm wrong. And tracking CDs.
Disagree with that. After playing Asa all day, I really think it's A tier, and I'm bad. Yeah, this is looking good. Doesn't seem like there's too much disagreement. Some people think I'm putting Asa too high, Outlaw too low, but I think this is a pretty solid tier list so far. This is
it's just not in the meta. Well, what is the meta right now?
List. I do think there has been a change in the power rankings. Unfortunately, I mean, let's just address the elephant in the room. I think there's a lot of people that think Mistweaver is actually better after the changes than it was.
Is Mistweaver,
as hilarious as that sounds.
Wow, Mistweaver Monk's the best by miles.
I think Mistweaver Monks are literally better than it was. So that's unlucky. I also think that with some of the changes to Atonement,
and they just got
priest
buffed.
is way better too. Like
Good
I
job,
think this
Blizzard.
priest is A tier. Very strong. I think it's very, very strong.
I barely even understand Mistweaver Monk. They have Cocoon, they teleport and roll around, but like
I think the
when they're casting their little beam,
is a little bit sketchy.
I don't even know what's going on with it.
Get off the
Do I
damage,
kick
you
that?
feel a lot, and you also do more damage than DPS. Like we're literally seeing games where disc are out damaging DPS. Not exaggerating. I would say Presevoker feels way better too. Like I want to put Presevoker at A tier. I think it's great. It got big damage buffs. It got some healing buffs. It's really good. You think Disc is S tier? What do you guys think? You think Disc should be S with Mistweaver? Disc is not S tier. I think it's A tier though. And I think Prez is A tier as well. Now, I think...
It looks like all the healers are good. Mistweaver needs to be nerfed, and they got to buff Restos. Both Restos need a buff. That's what it looks like here. Man, yeah, I don't know. I guess I might still play... B tier is fine. I can work with B tier. Let's do a PvE tier list now. He's doing healers. Let me see ranged DPS. Let me just get a good look at it. Oh my god, he spent a long... Jesus, melee was easy for him. Oh, Balanced Druid is S tier. And then we got Demo Lock, Marksman Hunter, Caster DPS. Ooh, Destruction Evoker and Shadow Priest. All S tier. Okay. All right, let's do a maximum midnight tier list. All right, one day ago. Here we go. I'm a tier list Andy.
Of a triumvirate.
Is this what it's like?
How did that one end up?
Terribly.
Just watch this and not know what the fuck you're doing and just like, I'm just going to go watch some tier list videos.
Problem. It was more about
5 hours, you psychopaths. Okay, Resto Druid, Disc, Mistweaver, Resto. Let's just get to Feral here. He brings in, like, basically the pros of each class. Bro, Feral, dude, we have a tiny little, my camera, look at this little fucking snippet back here. Are you kidding me? They were out of time. At this point, they're waiting to turn the stream off. Oh, fine. Bring in the Feral. Who is it? What's their name? They don't even have a name next to it. They don't know anyone. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
I'm going to try to get through these. I don't know if I have a warrior today. So we're going to vibe rank these as a chat. Okay? One at a time. We're going to vibe rank.
Shut the fuck up. We're vibe ranking?
Like a warrior or whatever. Before the season comes out, we're going to revise this multiple times, and I will make sure to actually talk to someone who does these things. Yeah. So for number one, we will start with Feral. We're not going to talk about gameplay or fucking anything. How good do you guys think Feral is in raid? Just type things, and if it's like really confusing, I'll do a poll. But usually people end up around the same thing. Save some time. Takes a full minute for the poll to go off. Definitely C is the average.
Let's save some time. Let's get through this.
All right. Letting the things letting them stop. All right. Now Mythic Plus though. Mythic Plus.
Fucking threw it in C. Oh my God, I can't.
C is the average. All right, put it right in the middle of C. W.
Oh God. Oh, that's funny. Fuck, is there another tier list, bro? Damn, they're all just spamming C.
All right.
Couple B's in there.
Letting them stop. All right. Now Mythic Plus though. Mythic Plus for Feral.
Sodapoppin plays it. C. What the fuck? Wait. I'm catching strays in the fucking tier list VOD. What?
Seeing ABC. Some people are saying worse. Midnight UI.
I'm under attack.
All right. There's too many things. We have to pull it. All right, it's up. That's funny. It's literally B is the leader, and then Midnight.
God damn it, man. They hate me. True, man. He was sick, so it was unlucky. This guy's here right now and said caught. Are you serious? Motherfuckers shitting on me in a tier list stream? Motherfucker. That's crazy. Fuck, is there like midnight tier list PvE? There's got to be someone that talks more than fucking 2 seconds about feral druids. Someone that's like reputable and knows what they're talking about too, not just some random YouTuber that has a lot of subs. Fuck. Where do I go? Petco? Petco. They sell fucking pets and stuff. All right, let's type it. Petko. Okay. I've never heard of this person, but y'all are all spamming. Good on you, gamer.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the official.
You have street cred. Good for you. Let's find Feral Druid in here. Oh, Frost DK. Don't make me go to the end again, please. Sub Rogue, Survival Hunter Enhancement, Fury, Feral Druid, right in the middle.
It's gonna be ending on the top of A tier.
Oh!
A lot of people are underestimating Feral Druids, and I'm here to prove you guys wrong. I think Feral Druid actually is quite strong in AoE. Sustain AoE, burst AoE, proud target as well. Feral has it all. Good utility, quite tanky, and the only thing that Feral does not have is single target. If Feral gets a single target buff, I'm gonna be the first person to say this, just like I've always been truthful to you. Feral will make it to the physical comp in Mythic Plus. If Feral gets another buff on single target, you will become the staple must be invited in with Brewmasters. You will play Brew, Feral, likely Fury Warrior, and anything else after that. It is gonna be Affliction Warlock.
Okay, so Feral Druids are lacking in single target. That's interesting. I wonder why. Ferals usually are like prio single target and they lack AoE. That's kind of always been the thing with Feral, at least from when I've played. So now it's reversed. You either cleave or single, you can't do both. I guess it's like, I could see that. You just have to build to AoE. AoE is more important, right, in Mythic Plus. But sometimes you need single target. Interesting. Where's Balanced Druid? Checking. Balanced Druid. Here it is.
It is going to be the chicken.
A+ tier.
I would like to clear something quite contrary to what every single person and Boomman is saying. I would like you to hear this from me firsthand. Every single Balanced Druid right now is absolutely sandbagging their performance in Mythic Plus. Don't let you guys fool you. Balanced Druid is still to be doing quite well in Mythic Plus. They don't look to be meta, but they most definitely don't look to be horrendous. And no, their single target is not as bad as some of the other specs. So please, do not say to me that Balanced Druid is absolute log shit. They have been getting 3 buffs in the row. It doesn't matter if you play big pool, smoke pool, single target, etc. Balance still does damage, okay? Balance still does damage, and it's not the worst spec in this game. Okay?
I love his confidence. I love that people said balance is not that good, and he says, you're just bad at the game. I love that. Good for you, man. Fuck yes. All right. Looks like I might be going Druid here. We'll see what's going on. Wow, a lot of things changed here.